Nigerians are more susceptible to sentiments, emotions, and they want me to speak also in the heat of the emotion and speak in line with the happenings of the hour. But what I would rather say is what I would rather do is to speak later on when all the emotions have cooled down. Because anything I say right now will be interpreted as either being in support or not being in support of one group or the other. The only thing I would need to say is that Sowore is showing Nigeria and Nigerian youth and the future of Nigeria the example of citizens' active position. We need more people like that. We need as many people as possible like Sowore. We need 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1 million people like him that have convictions, that have positions, that have the fighting spirit to be able to fight for what they believe. Now, what Sowore is fighting for, I perfectly agree with. He's fighting for the good of Nigeria and for the good of Nigerians. And I think we're on the same line, on the same path with Sowore on that. And I think we have the same passion to fight for a better Nigeria, and kudos to him. The methods are different. Even some of these methods I support, and I think we have to use them. But calling for a change or overthrowing of a constitutional aids of a constituted authority, that might be where we differ. So I might not agree with his method of calling for that kind of revolution. And I did a video before he was arrested. Before he was arrested, a month or two before he was arrested, I did a video that he will be arrested. Just because of the methods he was using. I knew it was going to happen. So what is happening right now? Go and look at my video when I said Sowore, the marriage, what do I call it?
Something bedfellows.
Yeah, the bedfellow, two bedfellows, the inconvenient bedfellows of Sowore and Nnamdi Kanu. And I said it there, that with the kind of thing they are doing, he will be arrested. The other guy has run away. And he is in Nigeria. He went to Nigeria. I tell you it will happen. Just because I know the way things, if you have the experience that I have, you will have the foresight and be able to see. And I said this, go and listen to that video. You will see that I've said it. And not just in that video I said it. I said it in one of our conversations too. That by the time it happens, that the whole world will be making noise. I will be saying, they will forget what led to it. And they will forget that even people like me have warned that this thing was going to happen. But after it happens, people will now be saying, oh, okay, these people are bad. But we should also know that anything we do, we take responsibility for it. We should be responsible for our actions. So that is on that other hand. But the action of DSS, like I said, it's easy to just say, they are bad, they are acting out of against the rule of law, and then use that and wrap it up with Buhari, that this is Buhari doing it, this is Buhari's government, and it's the worst government in our history. People who know our history, they will know that it's not the worst government, even in the terms of the rule of law. What is the name of this Ogoni man, the writer that was?
Sarowiwa.
Ben
Sarowiwa.
Is it Ben?
Or
Ken Sarowiwa. Sarowiwa, yeah. No, now let's compare this to the situation with Ken Sarowiwa. With Ken Sarowiwa, it was Nigeria. That happened in Nigeria.
Yes.
And it was taken to court. They put a kangaroo judge there. They just, nobody even, no journalist, nothing. Maybe journalists were there for a few days. They just took the decision took them to the back of the somewhere, and it's not one person they killed. They killed not just that Sowore. We were all talking about that Sowore, but I think there were about 8 or 15 people that were killed, and they were the creme de la creme of Ogoni people, and nothing happened. That government continued until God intervened. So thank God that we are living in a democratic time now, and nothing like that is happening, because it's not as bad as that. And that's not the only situation. No. Look at Babangida. There was. Did you know about what Vatsa? General Vatsa. Okay, General Vatsa is used to be a childhood friend of Babangida. He took him, arrested him, also accused him of treason. The same thing that Sowore was accused of. The same thing that Sowore has been accused of now. The same thing that So that Vasta was accused. They just took him. It was not the only one too. With the whole team, they went and just killed all of them. These things have been happening in Nigeria when it comes to the question of treason. And then there is this coup. They said when this guy ran away, they call it something coup. So, okay, there are a lot of stories, a lot of situations like this in Nigeria. So is the thing that is the Buhari government justified by what they are doing? No, what I've said doesn't justify them. But just because of the emotion of the hour, people could say, oh, this is the worst government. This is the, so you want him to kill him before something? No, I'm just saying that things are not really as bad as that. And the fact that he is arrested and he's been arrested, and they are not listening to the court of law, those are troubling moments. But thank God it's not during the military time, and it's not as bad as even during the Obasanjo. There was something that happened with a village somewhere there, and Obasanjo sent a whole army. They wiped out a whole village. I don't think Buhari has done anything like that. Now, all these things I'm saying don't justify Buhari.
Yeah, I think they
don't justify his government. They don't justify his government. They don't justify him. But I think I will say what I've been thinking, as that I will not say. This thing that just happened in Nigeria now happens in America too. When Obama was in power, they had this place they call Guatemala. No, not Guatemala is a country. Guantanamo prison. Guantanamo prison in Cuba, in the Cuba area, where they put terrorists. It was not Obama, Bush Jr. They caught terrorists and put these terrorists in some prison, some island somewhere where they could and they were torturing them there. First year, the court was American court taking decision that they should let them go. They didn't let them go. The same thing that is happening to.
Sure.
You think anything happened to Bush? Nothing happened. It was only after the government changed and Obama came that Obama closed that Guantanamo. That Guantanamo was there for 8 years, or is it 8 years or 6 years of 6 years? So I'm just trying to say that when issues when there are issues of national security in every country, when it is an issue of national security, there is always the tendency of national governments to say that security overrides citizens' rights. For example, in America, you don't have the right to go and search or listen to citizens. But when terrorism came, when it was the situation of security, national security, all Americans were subjected to, unprecedented violation by not just one American, every American, by security service. People were complaining, people were, court were taking decisions, but they couldn't do anything. Court or no court. Because in every country, issues of security is always elevated above the rule of law. when it is security, just like during war. During war also, the security issues supersede rule of law. So we do, for example, there are some people who went to court and challenged the fact that American citizens have to be searched, because don't bring water into the airport. But they couldn't do anything. Even the laws couldn't change that. The same thing with people listening. It was later changed during Obama, but it was after they had concluded that the security threat was behind.
Then they
brought back some. But still, up to now, they still have the right to go and listen, to go and... A lot of rights have also been sacrificed just on the altar of security. In this country where we live here, this thing that just happened to Buhari, you live here in this country, there are some members of our church. When I was being accused, firstly, there were two members of our church that were put in prison. Maybe you don't know about it. Okay. So because maybe you are not following Russian news, Ukrainian news that time. So, but these people were put in prison. So the court will take a decision that let them go because they are not convicted. You know what the security service will do? They will open another charge.
They will let them go again.
They will let them go, but as soon as they come out of the courtroom, they arrest them on another count. So they did that like 14 times in Kivia.
Wow.
They keep on arresting them. So when all the avenues, all the laws they could mention here has been expired, they went to other states. So other states, security service would arrest them. So you have to go to that state. So that state will set them free. The other state will arrest them. And this happened also. Go and study the history of America. Go and study the history of Britain. Go and study the history of Europe. It happens every country when they see that it's a security threat situation. Now, I don't know the information that is it DSS?
DSS.
I don't know the information they have. They claim that Sowore is working with some foreign forces or power to do something. I don't know what they're doing. But the reason why Buhari cannot intervene is because I think maybe they have some sensitive information that they think is going to be detrimental to them, to their government, or to Nigerian state. I find that difficult to believe personally. I don't think that Sowore wants to do anything to harm the Nigerian state. Yes, maybe it was a mistake for him to have associated himself with Nnamdi Kanu, but I don't think it's more dangerous. It's as dangerous as Nnamdi Kanu. I think Sowore is totally different from Nnamdi Kanu. So I don't know why. I would have liked to hear, and I would like the DSS to come forward with their own arguments. Why should they rearrest him? Why don't they just follow the conditions of the bail and let him just the lawyer Femi Falana has said he would take him under his care, and so why don't they just release him and let Femi Falana stand as a surety for him? Although in Nigeria with big men like that's Nnamdi Kanu, the guy who stood as a surety for him, the senator, is because here in Europe, if you stand as a surety for somebody and the person runs away, you will take the place in prison. You will be in prison. But that guy is giving interview everywhere. He's sitting down there. He's still in the Senate now. It's nothing happened. So things like that could happen in Nigeria. Because he's a big man. So but I don't know why DSS will do that. But the argument they will have is that it is security,
the national
threat. And I don't see that. I don't believe in that personally. I don't think that Sowore poses any national threat that will warrant him to be rearrested, detained forever. I mean, not forever, but to detain again. I would like to know the reason for that. But the fact that this happens in countries, in Germany, in France, in Belgium, in America, in England, if you want, let's go and check. Go and do your research. And I will going to give you a whole list of proofs that this happens, especially when it is the argument of security. So, but I personally don't believe that Sowore poses any such threat. I don't know. I don't think Sowore has an army. I don't think Sowore is forming any brigade. I don't think Sowore is having any military intention to use violence to overthrow Nigerian government. I don't think so. I believe Nigeria needs revolution. That's another area where I agree with Sowore. I believe Nigeria needs revolution, but the revolution we need is a revolution of value, revolution of our, structure, of our, system, of our, of virtues, of our whole country. We need to replace the whole country. I agree with him in a lot of things. I don't want to overthrow any, constituted authority, but otherwise I want to overthrow the whole system in terms of values. That's what, so I agree with him, but I differed a little bit in the sense of political change, because I think even if Sowore himself becomes the president today, Nigeria will not change, because until the value system of the people has changed, until the orientation and belief system of our whole country is changed, until the citizens are changed, the government itself cannot change Nigeria. So, but that is where we have a bit of disagreement, but I don't see Sowore as a big threat like that. I rather see him as an example that must be emulated. I rather by young people, and I think that we should have more people like that, like Sowore, that will have the patriotism to risk their lives, to risk their comfort, to sacrifice for the country. Now, but the reason I didn't want to give this,
I was going to say that you ended up giving your answer.
Yeah, I ended up giving the answer. But the reason I didn't want to give the answer is that I was not going to give answer one-sided. That they are bad, something, and why should they do it emotionally the way our people do it? But I was going to do analysis that no, this thing, it has happened before in our history, wars has happened. This kind of violation of rule of law happens in every country. If you live in America, if you want to tell me the truth, you know it happens. And in any other country too, especially when the security situation. In America, last week or last 2 months, they released somebody that was in prison for 14 years. 6 months before that, they released another one that was in prison for 28 years, all unjustly. That is in America. In America, almost every year, they release somebody that is being in prison for 10 years, 14 years, 20 years, not so unjustly. But so it happens. These things happen in all countries. But that has even legal problems. But when it comes to security, countries make this problem. They make these assumptions. They presume that they are the defenders of the land. And every country have the law of treason. And when anybody is accused of treason, of course, it is, of course, the court is the final decision making. But when they think that the person is a threat, the security organs, they don't listen to court. They
take action.
Yeah, they take actions independent of the court, because they said it is a national security threat. So that's what happens. But I don't think this is the situation with Sowore. So, but if I answer like this, a lot of people will just take half of the beginning of my talk and just say, okay, is these emotions will just keep on, people will begin to attack you or something. But they don't know that I am giving a full, broad answer to tell you that no, this government is, you don't use this to judge the government as a whole. And you don't use this to say this is the worst government. That's number one. Number two, even though I don't agree with what the government is doing, I still see reason that no, we've had it worse. Number three, that I also see that being an international person who has been living in Europe for 33 years and has been following world affairs, I know that this is what governments do. The government is doing this to me right here in Ukraine right now. I have been in court for 10 years for what I didn't do. So this is what governments do. Even though government here in Ukraine also threw my case out of court. Not government, court did. But the government used backdoor to bring it back. So this is what governments do. And they do it not just in Africa or in Eastern Europe. They do it everywhere, unless you have not encountered it. If you have not encountered it, good for you, thank God. Make a prayer that you never encounter it in America or in England or anywhere else, but they do these things. So that's the third thing I wanted to establish.
Yes.
Then finally, my own position about it is that I don't see Sowore as a security threat. I don't know the information they have, but personally, I think that Sowore is a great example for the youth, and we need more people like that. But you see, I will not just come and say one side. I will give a complete, comprehensive analysis. That is where people have problem with me. Because some of them will just take one side and say that, okay, it's for Sowore, or it's against Sowore, or it's for Buhari, or it's supporting DSS. People want to put me in a box, but I will not be in a box. I'm going to always give a holistic view. Thank you so much for watching our videos. Now, we need to spread this word, and we need to do it together. For that to happen, we need your help. Just 5 little steps that you could help us to spread the word. Number one thing we need you to do is to like the videos. Please go like this video right now. Number two, if you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Number three, we need you to press and click on that notification bell. You see the bell? Go press on it. And number four, we need you to go comment. Write your comment, good or bad. Just write what you feel. Number five, share on every platform. Share on Instagram, share on Facebook. Just share and spread the word. Thank you so much.